Been a minute, been a while. What is up? What is up? Trying to get a few things set up here. Make sure you guys like, subscribe. Appreciate it. All right, we're going to play that one coming up here. Got a lot of stuff I want to get into. Let me make sure my volume is up on here. It's not playing the audio. I don't know why it won't play the volume. Stupid Facebook. Trying to find a clip here from Tom Brady because I want to talk about something coming up here. Let some people pull up in here. How's everybody doing, man? Happy Saturday. Cheers. Hopefully everybody's doing good. I just been grinding it out, working 7 days a week. Haven't had a day off in a while. Had to work today, but I wanted to get on here, talk about some you get a mic check. Let me know if you guys can hear me. For some reason my audio is not working. My hearing volume isn't working. I got like a page and a half of notes I want to go over, so we got a lot of stuff we're going to get into here. What is it? Nope. All right, may have to do without that one, I guess. All right, man. What up? What up? Salute, man. How was everybody doing? Sorry, scrambling here. Literally just got off work 8. I wanted to come on and talk about some shit. I got like 2 pages of notes, or a page and a half. Hopefully everybody's doing good. How you guys feeling about this Geno Smith stuff, man? All right, let's get in the chat here. Gabriel, what up, big dog? Hopefully doing good, bro. Ain't seen you in a minute. Thanks for tuning in. AG Raider, dude, what up, big dog? Hope you're doing good, man. Who else we got in here? Jason Marshall, dude, salute. Appreciate that. You can hear me? All right. I don't know what was going on. I was trying to play a video, and Jimmy Guns. Hell yeah. Salute, Jimmy. Thanks for tuning in. We got 3-time. Geno is mid at best. He's the GOAT, bro. Oh, bro, I got a lot of stuff I want to talk about, man. A lot of stuff I want to talk about. It's like, I'm not going live unless I got a lot of stuff I want to talk about, man. So, all right, first up, let's talk about the Max Crosby extension. I was pretty excited. I'm pretty happy that we gave Max Crosby a contract. This thing could have gone a completely different direction. And, there was that saying years ago that pass rushers are, hard to find. And dude, I know some people wanted to get rid of and trade Max Crosby. I wasn't in that camp, but could you just imagine if we would have traded Max Crosby, what the pundits and the media would be saying, back when we traded Khalil Mack about pass rushers are hard to find, dude. We would have never lived it down. And that whole like pass rushers are hard to find or whatever, that thing went on for like years, bro. Years. It was like, you'd say anything to another fan or the media or whatever, their comeback would be like, well, pass rushers are hard to find. You guys traded Khalil Mack. So if something would have happened, this thing could have gone like south the other direction. We would have never freaking lived it down had we traded Max Crosby. So the fact that we kept him, I know it's a big contract and whatnot, but I'm happy, dude. I just, there is some things that I do want to talk about Max, but like overall, I'm happy, and I could not take another fucking media pundit going on for years that pass rushers are hard to find and blah blah blah. And the funny thing is, I know we all love Stephen A. Smith, right? Stephen A. Smith was like talking about the Max Crosby thing, and he was saying that the Raiders should have traded Max Crosby. Stephen A. Smith essentially was saying the Raiders should have traded Max Crosby, and that's nuts to me because that dude was one of the clickbait fucking, just burning in our souls when we traded Khalil Mack and how stupid we were. And now that we have a good pass rusher after Khalil Mack, and pass rushers are hard to find, that kind of meme fucking thing. Now all of a sudden this dude's like, well, the Raiders should have like traded him and Max should have gone somewhere else. If we would have traded him, could you imagine Stephen A. Smith, how he would have lit us all up about, they traded Khalil Mack and then they trade Max Crosby. These guys don't know what the fuck they're doing, dude. It would have gone on and on and on. So, we could have been going into training camp and Max Crosby holding out just like Khalil Mack did. And I don't think the Raiders had the money to pay Khalil Mack. I know others have a different opinion on it, but you have to, for like the bonus money, you have to have that capital in the bank. And the Raiders, they didn't have $90 million in the bank. They might have been able to pay Khalil Mack $20 million or whatever he was wanting back then. But so just kind of crazy. I was thinking about a lot about that. Definitely thought a lot about this Geno Smith stuff coming up as well. But, there's been a lot of stuff I've been kind of holding in that I was like, well, I'll wait till like, I got, something worth saying that I want to say to you guys. So, but the one thing I'll say about Max Crosby, I love the dude. Congratulations, Max. You deserve it. But do you guys remember, when the Chiefs won a Super Bowl in our stadium and they planted their flag in the middle of our fucking field? What did Max Crosby say before that Super Bowl win the Chiefs got? He said, I don't care if they win or I want them to win because I want to be the ones to knock the Chiefs off their high horse or knock them out or whatever, And all that sounds fine and dandy, and I get it. I know there's other pieces, and the Raiders have really failed in a lot of other areas on both sides of the ball or whatnot. So we're not helping the cause to beat the Chiefs. But, now that Max Crosby is the highest paid non-quarterback, Max, you gotta produce more, bro. You gotta step up to the plate and you gotta really freaking hold true to what you said, that you want to be the ones to knock the Chiefs out. And hopefully we do it, and hopefully he's part of it, because I would love for it to be in the playoffs. When Max Crosby got his previous contract, he did say he wants to be the highest paid pass rusher in the NFL. Well, you got what you wanted, dude. But you know what? None of us in Raider Nation have. It's one of these things right here. And that's not my middle finger. That's my ring finger. None of us have a ring from the Raiders winning a Super Bowl. So the point is talk is cheap. I don't care who it is. Talk is cheap. So as much as I love Max, I'm glad he's still on our team. You got to bring it to the table, bro. And you got to fucking produce for all of us. And you got to do more than what you're doing. I know he's working hard. and whatnot. But you know, what he's done so far isn't good enough, and it shouldn't be for any of these guys. So, you know, I'm gonna call it out, dude. You know, call it like I see it. You're getting paid like you wanted. Now you got to produce, bro. And if you don't, you know, I'm sure you know that most of us at Raider Nation, you know, weren't born yesterday. So, all right, let's see what you guys are saying here, and then we'll get into the Geno stuff. All right. Jimmy said trading Geno for third leads to this. Sanders there at 6 for us. So 7, 9, or 12 will trade us there first and a second, third this year plus next year second. I'm just gonna read you guys' comments, and I got like a page and a half of stuff. So I'm gonna be, you guys got to keep up with me, dude. I'm gonna be fucking going pretty hot here coming up. So I'm trying to tone my shit down, dude. But hopefully everybody's doing good. I love all you guys, man. Basically trade Devontae Adams for New Jersey Jets 3rd round pick for Geno Smith. Hell yeah, yeah. Jason Barr said perfect timing for Max signing. Others like Garrett Hendricks gonna be set in the market. Yep, facts, bro. Yeah. Absolutely. What are your thoughts on Max Crosby contract? I love Max contract extension. No, I like it, man. I just think, you know, he's got to get more sacks. He's got to get, you know, some fumbles. He is a difference maker, but he's got to do more. He's got to figure out a way, and the defense has to help him as well. But I'm just saying, he got his last contract. He wanted to be the highest paid defensive, you know, pass rusher in the NFL. He got what he wanted. He's got to bring more to the table, and all these guys do. You know what I mean? So yeah, fuck Stephen A. Smith. Yeah, dude, he's a clown, bro. That dude, he went on with these other chicks, and I just it was like, dude, it was hard to listen. I should have just clicked off, but it was like fingernails on a chalkboard, dude. Like, listen to some of these like people, and you know, it's not like a girl thing. There's actually really good like girl sports casters or whatever you want to call them, but this girl starts talking about our draft picks, and like she didn't even know fucking shit, dude. I'm like, what the fuck is this chick's talking about, bro? I like Stephen A. Smith more these days than the past. Nothing to do with the sports it takes though. Nice. Splain needs to be next. Yeah, we're gonna get into Aunt 6. What up, big dog? Hope you're doing good, man. D Minutes in the house. Salute, guys. Much love. Appreciate you guys tuning in, man. Been a minute. All right, so let's get into the Geno Smith, bro. I wasn't going to say his name. I don't give a fuck. I'm just going to say it. All right. Vinny Bonsignor was trying to ask Raider Nation a question on Friday. And he's like, you know, what, like trying to be demoralizing. I'm trying to be nice, trying to be condescending and demoralizing, like as if we're fucking stupid. And he's like, well, what's Raider Nation's expectations for the Raiders? You know, and this is before the Geno Smith trade got announced, because he's like, everything you've been presented with, you guys don't like. You guys don't like the Sam Darnold trade. You guys don't like this. You guys don't like that. So what's your realistic expectations for the Raiders? I mean, my expectations are like this, bro. It's like this, man. It's pretty fucking simple for me, man. Do you want fucking top ramen, bro? Or do you want a cup of fucking noodles? You know, like if we're having dinner together, you know, we're all going out to eat, and I'm like, man, I'm going to give you a fucking bag of top ramen or a cup of fucking noodles, man. Which one do you want? You see how excited you eat that shit for dinner, and you're like, that was some good fucking top ramen, bro. I love that cup of noodles, man. They're both fucking, you might eat it, but you're not going to like necessarily get done and be like, that was the best fucking top ramen I had. Maybe if you had like top ramen at like a nice restaurant or something, you know, like a Chinese or Asian restaurant, but like, bro, nobody's eating fucking top ramen or cup of noodles and they're fucking excited about that was their dinner. It's usually because you're like poor or you ain't got time or something like that. And that's what we're being presented with, top ramen or cup of noodles, and we're expected to act like we're getting flaming fucking yawn, dude. And I'm going to be real about all this shit, dude. Like, if I'm being fed, like, it's like, do you want a cat turd sandwich or a dog turd sandwich? I don't want any of them because they're both shit sandwiches, dude. Like, you know what I mean? Do you want Sam Darnold or Geno Smith or, you know, I forget some of the other ones, but I'm just like, no, I don't want any of them. What's the risk versus reward? What are we giving up for all this stuff? So my first reaction when the Geno Smith thing happened because I don't want Sam Darnold. And my thing is if we're gonna get a bridge quarterback, we better not be fucking overpaying them. And I'm talking 40, 45 mil. That's not a bridge quarterback, bro. I'm sorry, but $40 to $45 million is not a fucking bridge quarterback. And everybody will have this like, well, the market says that it is, and you got to go with the market. No, I fucking don't. If I go to the store and the eggs are too expensive, and I'm like, I really don't want eggs because they're really fucking expensive, I have a choice. Either I pay the price for the eggs if I want eggs, or I say, no, I don't want eggs because I'm not paying that shit. You always have a choice. So, but when they're presenting us with top ramen or cup of noodles, your choices you're being given are very limited and limited to be successful, you know? So my first reaction, because I didn't want Sam Darnold and I didn't want to pay Sam Darnold 40, 45 mil. And this goes for a lot of these quarterbacks out there, almost all of them. If we're going to overpay them, no, I don't fucking want that. Now, if they want to do 30, 35 mil or something like that, and then that helps us with getting some of our free agents, like a Trayvon Morig, a Spillane, as someone talked about, then that's a little different ballpark, dude. You know what I mean? But overpaying these guys for mediocre play, is just ridiculous in my opinion. And I've always felt this way, but definitely this year, okay? So my first reaction was, at least it's not Sam Darnold. I was like, hey, man, at least it's not Sam fucking Darnold, because that's like the last guy that I want to be our fucking quarterback. And then my next reaction was, thank God it wasn't a second round draft pick. You know how Raiders are, right? Like, we will give up the farm for some fucking mediocre guy that just comes here for a paycheck. So I was just excited, like, hey, at least it wasn't a second round. Okay, that was my second reaction. And then my third reaction was, this third round pick, I like, is it Raiders third round pick, or is it the Jets third round pick we got from Devontae Adams? And it took a while to kind of find out that information, because it wasn't right out in the open. It seemed like right at first, but it came out that it was the Jets pick. So, for the draft capital, I don't love it. I don't hate it. Like, I can accept that, right? But here's the thing, right? We've been fed that Raiders are going to make big moves, right? The Tom Brady effect, bro. Raiders are making big moves this year, guys. And fucking the GOAT Geno Smith is it, man. I mean, I'm fucking pumped, bro. I mean, that's a big move, right? I mean, are the Raiders really a quarterback away from going to the Super Bowl? How many more wins does a Geno Smith get us versus another quarterback? Is Geno Smith going to lead us to the promised land and win a fucking Super Bowl? I'm sorry, I don't think so. And in my opinion, man, like, this just proves, like, I've been trying to be cool and positive and all this with Pete Carroll, but let's be real, dude. This motherfucker, I should pull up the thing where Adam Sandler is talking, what movie was that? Was it Big Daddy or something? But he's talking about this old dude was hooking up with his old lady, and he's like, you old wrinkly balls. Let's be real, dude. That's Pete Carroll. As young as he might try to be, he's got old wrinkly balls. This is a move of desperation, dude. I truly feel that this move for Geno Smith is an act of desperation by Pete Carroll. And there's numerous reasons why I'm going to say this. I've been, like, I toned it back. I was kind of like somewhat excited at first, toned it back, and I had to really marinate on all this shit, dude. But I think there's a lot of questions within all of this stuff that plays a factor in it, because to me, when it first happened, I'm like, oh, we're getting him for 27 million, or like, a good, deal, a 1 year, and then we'll decide if we're going to give him a contract. All right. I don't hate that. And then we realize, bro, Big Daddy movie. Yeah, there you go. Thank you. The old wrinkly balls comment. Yeah. But then we realized that Geno Smith wants 45 million a year. Are you shitting me? We're going to pay Geno Smith $45 fucking million a year. And again, people are like, well, that's the market. No, dude, it's not. We did not have to make this fucking decision, because if you're going to say it's a bridge, everybody like, it's like a double standard. Okay. Try to keep my shit cool, but like, it's really like a double standard where people would be like, all right, well, it's the market. You just pay whatever you got to pay. Okay. And then they're like, well, he's a bridge quarterback. Well, if you're going to pay a guy that much money, why the fuck would you draft a Shedeur Sanders or a Jackson Dart? And I know Cam Ward isn't going to fall to us, but like leading up into the draft, what if Shedeur Sanders fell to us, right? And we're going to pay Geno Smith $45 million a year. Do you really think that the Raiders are going to pull the trigger on Shedeur Sanders if we're paying him $45 million a year? I don't know. I don't think so. I don't know how they do, if I'm being real with you guys. I really don't. If you're going to pay a guy, that's not, to me, that's not bridge quarterback money. 40, like if we're talking 30, 35 mil, that's a little bit different. I could be like, hey, I see it, man. I can roll with that a little bit more. But you're going to pay a guy 40 to 45 mil. I'm sorry, that's not bridge quarterback money. That's like you believe that's your guy and you're in a win now mode. Meaning Pete Carroll essentially just tied his ass to the hip of Geno Smith when they give Geno Smith this contract. Think about that. Pete Carroll's career with the Raiders, he just tied his ass to fucking Geno Smith, dude. You know? Like, think about what happened when Pete Carroll was on the Seahawks before when they got Matt Flynn. Didn't they trade for Matt Flynn to the Green Bay Packers? I can't remember if they traded, but I know they gave Matt Flynn a big contract, and then they drafted Geno Smith in the 3rd round, and then they decided to start Geno Smith instead of started Russell Wilson instead of Matt Flynn. Got too many names in my head and too many thoughts. So, you know, whether like if Raiders were to draft a guy like for quarterback in the 1st round, 2nd round, or shit, even if it's Aiden O'Connell, if you're going to pay a guy $45 million and you can give him a bunch of guaranteed money, do we really, really think that Pete Carroll's going to do the same thing? And if he does do the same thing and say he benches Geno Smith and it started a Shedeur Sanders, if we got Shedeur Sanders, I mean, wouldn't that prove that was a terrible decision to fucking trade for Geno Smith and to give him all that money? How could it not look like a terrible decision? And I'm not trying to be negative Nancy on Pete Carroll. Like I said, at first I was like kind of, excited about this, to be honest with you guys. But once I realized the dude wants $45 million, and essentially that's going to be our franchise quarterback, and Pete Carroll's essentially putting all his chips in the Geno Smith basket, I don't like that at all. Because now we're extremely limited on our options. Before, we had plenty of options. You could draft a guy, maybe you get a Russell Wilson on the cheap, Aaron Rodgers on the cheap. I mean, a bunch of different options. Once you pay a quarterback that big time money, you're locked at the hip. I mean, I don't think you're doing that Matt Flynn thing, although it would be kind of funny if we drafted somebody and they end up starting for Geno Smith, but at the same time, it wouldn't be funny because then the money that we're using for Geno Smith, we could use to get Robert Spillane, Trayvon Moehrig. I want Nate Hobbs. Probably other people don't. Malcolm Kuntz. That helps you out so you can get some of that, keep some of that talent on your team. Why haven't we signed any of these guys? Free agency is literally in a day, and we ain't signed none of these guys. Why? Why? Can anybody answer me that? Were the Raiders waiting until they got their quarterback? I mean, does Geno Smith move the needle for free agency? It's one of my topics on here. If you're a free agent and you're like, man, Raiders got Geno Smith, let's go ball out. Maybe it does a little bit, but how much more? I don't know. I mean, think about our division. I mean, versus the, AFC West versus the NFC West. Is the AFC West a better division than what Geno Smith was playing with in the NFC West? Cardinals, Seahawks, Niners, Lambs, versus our division, Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert, and then now Bo Nix. I don't think the NFC West is even close to the AFC West as far as competition. So if we look at it from a competition perspective, I mean, is Geno Smith really going to be able to compete with those other fucking guys? Can a Geno Smith beat Patrick Mahomes? I know it's a team sport, but I'm just being real about the situation. Is Geno Smith better than Justin Herbert? Is Geno Smith better than Bo Nix? I still think we got the 4th best quarterback in our division with a Geno Smith. We just We just traded. We're going to give this guy 45 mil to have the fourth best quarterback in our division. Isn't that nuts? Maybe I'm fucking crazy. But to me, this thing, as I've thought about it, this is actually kind of fucking crazy. And then let's say, like, I'm going to jump around all over the place. Got 1,000 things in my head. Let's say Shedeur Sanders falls to us. A miracle happens, right? And I'm not even a big Shedeur guy. Honestly, I'd rather have Jackson Dart than Shedeur. And I would pull the trigger for a Jackson Dart at 6, believe it or not. I think Jackson Dart has the most upside out of all these guys. And Jackson Dart's favorite guy, QB in the NFL, is freaking Jalen Hurts, who just won a Super Bowl with Super Bowl MVP. Jalen Hurts was a guy going into the draft that everybody said was a 3rd, 4th round draft pick, and you should move him to tight end or running back. And that dude just won a Super Bowl and was Super Bowl MVP. That's who Jackson Dart's favorite player is. And if you look at all the teams that need quarterbacks, you know, we got the obvious ones ahead of us in the draft. You got the Titans, you got the Browns, obviously the Raiders, Giants, and then obviously Raiders, right? Right there's 4. And then from there, we got the Jets pick right after us. And then you have the Saints at like 11 or somewhere in that range. We're already at 6 teams that are going to be looking for quarterbacks. And then you got the Seahawks, I think, at like 18. And then you have the Steelers at like 21. Right there's 8 teams. Okay. And then you got possibly the Rams, you know, and there could be some other teams too that could pull the trigger. Jackson Dart is not going till the 2nd round. Somebody's going to pull the trigger on him. You're not going to be able to wait around. You're better off just pulling the trigger on him early. Remember, us waiting around to get a quarterback is what happened when we wanted Jalen Hurts. When a lot of us in Raider Nation, I didn't pound the table super hard, not like Hendon Hooker, but that's also why I pounded the table for Hendon Hooker, because I didn't want the Jalen Hurts thing to happen to us. We thought Jalen Hurts was going to fall to us in the 2nd round, and the Eagles got him. And that dude just won a fucking Super Bowl, bro. And everybody doubted him, right? At this point, I'm willing to take a chance on Shedeur. If he fell to us at 6, yeah, I am. Because I don't think Geno Smith is a long-term answer. That dude's already 35. I mean, he's getting up there with Adam Sandler and the old wrinkly balls comment, man. You know, so there's a lot of questions I have with all this shit, dude. And maybe I'm overreacting. I don't think I am. If we pay him $45 million, I mean, like, are the Raiders really going to consider drafting Shedeur Sanders if he falls to us? And then what, right? And I do like Aiden O'Connell. I'm in the minority with Aiden O'Connell, and that's a whole different thing. I have my notes later on, but like, if we think about this, like, if we're going to wait till the 3rd round, maybe Will Howard or something falls to the 3rd round, you know, like, if the Raiders don't draft Jackson Dart or Shedeur Sanders in the 1st round, I don't even want to be considering a quarterback until the 3rd or 4th round. I don't think any other quarterbacks Raiders should be considering unless it's in the 3rd or 4th round if we don't get them in the 1st. And if we have a Geno Smith, are the Raiders really going to consider pulling the trigger if Shedeur Sanders is there at 6? I don't think they are. Not if they're paying Geno Smith $45 million, because you're putting all your eggs in the Geno Smith basket saying that's our franchise quarterback, you know? So, and there's a lot of moving pieces, you know? So, like, I'm just trying to weigh out like a bunch of different scenarios. And to me, maybe I've overloaded my brain because I'm like, dude, what the fuck are they doing, man? You know, if they're willing to get Shedeur Sanders or a Jackson Dart, then I'd say, hey, all right, man, you give, you know, Geno Smith a 2-year deal or whatever. You can get out after the 2nd year. Cool. Or give him a 3-year contract. You can get out after the 2nd year. All right. But not a 45 mil. Maybe, like, to me, it should be like 35 and maybe max 40. And what's going to happen this free agency, right? What's going to happen this free agency when we're like, Raiders get, say, one of our free agents? Let's just say we only get Spillane, you know? Isn't that going to be fucking funny when, like, this guy last year was like, hey, we should go sign some of our guys. We should sign a Trayvon Moehrig, you know, last offseason because we had money. We should go sign a Nate Hobbs. Raiders didn't do none of that. And now we're in a situation where we're like, you know, we could be like in a bad situation with our defense with a lot of these guys just fucking leaving, man. And not want to be part of the shit show. And I think with Patrick Graham and Pete Carroll, if that does happen, does it mean the death of our defense? No, I'm not saying that. But I don't necessarily think we're going to be like getting an upgraded defense. Maybe, hopefully, but I don't think we are. I really don't, man. So, one of the things I was thinking about, guys, as far as the Tom Brady effect, because everybody's been pumping up the Tom Brady effect. I mean, the silver and black wouldn't even exist in today's society without fucking Tom Brady and the Tom Brady effect, right? Kind of funny to me. So, there's all these rumors, right? Think about this. There's all these rumors where Tom Brady's extremely interested in Shedeur Sanders. They got this great relationship, has an NIL deal with Tom Brady and Shedeur Sanders. They train together, all this stuff. They're frolicking in the forest, right? So Tom Brady loves Shedeur Sanders, apparently. But then all of a sudden, Tom Brady goes up to Montana to meet Matthew Stafford at the ski hill. Like, just think about that for a second. Tom Brady loves Shedeur Sanders so much, but yet he's going out of his way to try to find a franchise quarterback in Matthew Stafford. I mean, does something not match up here, or am I just looking too much into it? And it could be I'm looking too much into it. But if I look at it and I'm like, sorry, I was getting a call there. If I'm in love with a quarterback, I'm going to do everything I can to draft a Shedeur Sanders if that's my guy, right? I would. I wouldn't be looking for the next thing, let alone a Matthew Stafford who had injuries. You're going to have to pay a lot more. You're going to have to give up draft compensation for. So to me, that doesn't make any sense. Why is Tom Brady shopping around? Unless the only other thing I could think of is if he's not sold on Shedeur Sanders, And then from there, I'm like, well, everybody's talked about or you guys remember Mark Davis was, getting asked about Tom Brady being part owner of the Raiders and stuff. And Mark Davis was talking about how he wants Tom Brady to have a say in who the Raiders get at quarterback and possibly maybe help train that quarterback, right? So the first quarterback for the new minority owner, Tom Brady, that the Raiders get, our future franchise quarterback, and the first one that Tom Brady ever gets is Geno Smith. Geno Smith, that's Tom Brady's guy, right? I mean, that's how it should be looked at. They've all talked about how Tom Brady's going to have such an impact on who the Raiders get at quarterback, and the first guy Tom Brady picks is the one and only GOAT, Geno Smith. GOAT Tom Brady gets GOAT Geno Smith. Is something not smelling right here? Like seriously, is something just being like, nah, dude. Do you guys really think that Tom Brady is thinking that Geno Smith is the GOAT? I don't. Which then I'm thinking, I'm like, could this be the first hiccup between Tom Brady and Pete Carroll? Seriously, could this be the first situation where there could be some like clashing of opinions between the Raiders coaching staff and Tom Brady? When I think of Tom Brady and his style and stuff, and I'm not saying Geno Smith can't necessarily be good or okay, but I don't see Tom Brady wanting the first guy that the Raiders get at quarterback being a Geno Smith. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Tom Brady's in love with Geno Smith. I doubt it, though. I really do. Maybe Tom Brady's going to be more in charge of who we get in the draft or something like that. That is a possibility that I thought of. I'm like, well, maybe Tom Brady's going to be, he's looking towards the draft to get his guy, because obviously Geno Smith is Pete Carroll's guy, not Tom Brady's guy, and I don't know if there's a clash there, but I could see there potentially being something down the road where, this could create strife within our organization with the new minority owner, Tom Brady, and the old wrinkly balls, Pete Carroll. I'm sorry, young wrinkly balls, Pete Carroll. It was an act of desperation, dude. I'm sorry. There's no way that this was not a complete act of desperation. doing it right before free agency. And again, is it really moving the needle where free agents are like, oh, I want to definitely go play for the Raiders? I mean, I don't see any way how Tom Brady's excited about this unless we draft a QB. Okay. If we still draft Sanders or Dart, then I don't hate the Geno Smith trade. Even if we're going to pay him way more than I think we fucking should, if we still get Sanders or Dart, I don't hate the trade. Now, if we get Will Howard in the third round or the fourth round, it's not going to change much for me. You're drafting a guy that, had some moments in college with Ohio State, winning a championship and stuff. But I'm not sure Will Howard's going to be a future answer, So for me, drafting one of the guys later isn't moving the needle for me, All right, I don't know. I've been rambling a lot. I still got more. I still got like another fucking page of notes. I don't know if I should keep going or if I need to pause, man, and go back. You guys have been on fire here in the chat. I love you guys, man. I've been driving myself crazy with this shit for the last like fucking day, dude. I'm like, man, I want to be excited about it. I really do. I want to be like, you know what? Geno Smith, man, he's going to give us another, like, we won 4 games. He's going to give us another 6 wins, right? And then I think about it, I'm like, I don't know, man. I really don't. Is Geno Smith getting you another 6 wins? We won 4 games, right? How many more wins is a Geno Smith going to get you? I know there's a lot of other moving pieces and stuff. We got to get running back, wide receiver. There could be some other things that could, definitely have an impact on that. But if I just look at the quarterback position alone, I'm going to say 2, maybe 3 wins. Which then I think about, and most people won't agree with me on this part. I mean, how many more wins is Geno Smith getting you than Aiden O'Connell? Like, seriously. Yeah, I understand Geno Smith's more mobile, but is his arm really that much better? I heard somebody say Geno Smith has a much better and more accurate deep arm than Aiden O'Connell. I'm like, what? I'm like, actually, Aiden O'Connell has a pretty good deep arm. Just Trey Tucker and some of the Raiders wide receivers can't catch the fucking ball. And especially when Devontae Adams is scared of getting hit and shit, man. Devontae Adams giving up on routes and shit, man. Ball's right in his hands and he won't fucking catch the ball. And then I love this one, man. This one's funny to me. All right. Well, Geno Smith's not a great quarter. Like, this is the double standard stuff that's like sends me just fucking over the wall, dude. Right here is this one. All right. So people be like, yeah, Geno Smith's not that great. But Pete Carroll said, like, you got to help out the quarterback, and you can't put everything on the quarterback's shoulders, which I agree with. The philosophy I definitely agree with, okay? But that you have to build around the quarterback. I believe that's true. Absolutely. You got to give for a good team, okay? Especially if a quarterback's not as great. You got to give them a run game. You got to have a good offensive line. You have to have good play calling, you have to have a good scheme fit, which kind of has to do with play calling. But there's like at least, and then you have to have playmakers. But like those are the 4 basics to have a success on an offense, right? But here's the thing. If you look at this is something I thought about all week. I was thinking about this one. If you go over the last 2 years with the Raiders organization and all those things that I mentioned, from the run game, the O-line, the scheme fit, the play calling, would any quarterback have succeeded with the Raiders under those circumstances? I mean, it's a serious question. When you have Josh Jacobs and then you get rid of him, you don't give him a contract, right? You have ass play calling. You have play callers that keep like switching. You switch from a offensive line zone blocking scheme to a power blocking scheme. All these different elements, and you expect to be successful. Oh, but Aiden O'Connell's trash. He's fucking trash. But wait a second. Oh, and Devontae Adams gives up and leaves midway through the season. And guess what? Aiden O'Connell never even got a chance to pass the ball to fucking Devontae Adams. But now all of a sudden, We got Geno Smith. We're going to give him a run game. We're going to give him a fucking offensive line. We're going to give him a good scheme. We're going to give him good play calling. We're going to give him all the key elements to be successful that Aiden O'Connell never fucking got. But Aiden O'Connell's trash, right? He's trash because he can't run a 4.7 fucking 40. I mean, like, what the fuck, man? The double standards with people blows my absolute fucking mind. Like, I lose it, dude. Inside, I'm like having a heart attack because I'm like, people cannot be this fucking dumb. Like, people, there's no way people are this dumb. And I'm not even trying to be an Aiden O'Connell apologist, dude. I'm just trying to state the facts that I don't care who the fuck was at our quarterback position. You know, when you got your running back sitting out in the parking lot waiting to get a fucking contract, you know, and he sits out through part of the fucking training camp and all that. And they switched the blocking scheme to a zone blocking scheme for the offensive line. And Josh Jacobs was getting hit behind the line of scrimmage. Josh Jacobs was getting hit before he even got to the line of fucking scrimmage, bro. Like, what the fuck? And we're like, Josh Jacobs is trash, bro. He's trash. Like, the fucking people, man, that would sit there and run their mouth. And those same people were like, get rid of Josh Jacobs. And the same people that are excited about Geno Smith, maybe not all of them, I'm not trying to call everybody out, but a lot of the people that are excited about Geno Smith were the same people that were excited about Brokeback Jimmy, and they were excited about Gardner Minshew. Two people that I was like, dude, no way. There's no way these guys think Brokeback Jimmy's the answer. You can go back to my draft video. You can go back to my draft video of Hendon Hooker. I went ape shit because I'm like, there's no way. There's no way. They're putting all their eggs in the fucking Brokeback Jimmy basket, and they're not going to address it in the draft. You know, not till the 4th round with Aiden O'Connell. And now here we are again. And I'm like, I'm seeing repeat. I'm like, there's Pete and repeat, and Pete's fucking dead. Who's left? Repeat. All right, there's Pete and repeat. Pete died. Who's left? Repeat. I feel like, dude, I feel like I'm living in fucking what was that? Wonderland fucking trippy movie back in the day, that kids movie. Alice in Wonderland. There you go. I'm living in some fucking weird, like, third paradigm that, like, there's no way we're getting a new coaching staff. I was excited. I'm excited to get Max Crosby a contract, but they're going to do the same thing with Geno Smith that fucking Josh McDaniels did with Jimmy G. There's no way, dude. There's no way. Now, and then they'll probably, Geno Smith will probably do okay. Probably better Aiden O'Connell. But he's also going to have a lot more key elements that are in place for him to be successful, And Aiden O'Connell was a rookie, and he scored 63 points. Defense did good, but 63 points on the Chargers. No other Raider quarterback has ever done that. And I'm not saying like we should have just stuck with Aiden O'Connell or whatever. I think we need a plan to not have all of our eggs in one basket, and yet we still draft a quarterback. And not fucking mediocre 3rd, 4th round, dude. I'm saying Sanders or Jackson Dart. I don't care who it is. Pull the fucking trigger, dude. Just do it. Please. Like, for the love of God, Raiders. I mean, please. And if it fails, so what? I don't care. At least we're not trading the kitchen sink this year's 1st, 2nd, 3rd. And because that's my other thing. We need a lot of pieces here, guys. We need our 1st round pick. We need our 2nd round pick. We need at least one of our 3rd round picks, right? Like, I don't want to be trading all that shit. I don't care who it's for right now. Why? Because we still need a running back. We still need a wide receiver. We probably should get at least one offensive lineman. We probably need a cornerback, possibly a safety if we're not going to sign Trayvon Moehrig, right? We need a linebacker. Fuck, who else? Maybe an edge rusher, but maybe we could hold off on edge rusher depending on what we do with Kuntz or Chase on, right? I mean, we need our draft picks, man. We're not in a position, I know I'm missing somebody. Who am I missing? I know I said running back. Oh, and quarterback, right? Like, we can't trade everything for a quarter. I don't care if it's Shedeur Sanders, maybe Cam Ward. I might be all right, like, doing that. But that's why I say just pull the fucking trigger. If Shedeur Sanders is there at 6 or Dart, you got to do it, man. We can't keep fucking doing this. I don't care if we got to draft a quarterback in the 1st round for the next fucking 5 years until we find somebody. I really don't. I mean, like, and I've gone back and forth. I'm like, Well, if you have a good team, you can win with a mediocre quarterback. I get that, right? But all I know is one thing. Geno Smith can be good, okay to good, right? Average quarterback, mediocre average, to somewhat good quarterback. But he's not going to be great, and he's fucking old, dude. He's 35. We're going to be lucky to get him for 2 years. What's the plan? That's what I always ask. Like, what's the plan here? What's the vision, Like, yeah, would I love to get Ashton Jeanty at 6 if he ends up being like a LaDainian Tomlinson or an Adrian Peterson or an Emmitt Smith? Yeah, absolutely. I would love to get a Jeanty at 6. But if I'm also being real about it, I'm like, well, fuck it. If you don't solve the quarterback, we're going to be in the situation problem for a long time. So I kind of argue with myself in some categories, and I feel like I'm just like, man, it's rough being a fucking Raiders fan, bro. It really is. It's like damned if you do, damned if you don't. And maybe I'm alone. Maybe I'm the only one that feels this way. And people are like, oh, hardcore Raider, you're way too pessimistic. I don't want to listen to you. No, I'm a realist, dude. I'm not sticking my head up the sand, blazing one for the fucking nation and acting like everything's going to be okay when deep inside I know something's not smelling right here. Like I see bullshit, bro. And I'm just like, I'm one of the few people that just like, I see it for what it is and I'm going to call it out, man. I don't want to Pete Carroll, Matt Flynn repeat, who wants a Matt Flynn repeat? And it's kind of funny that Matt Flynn ended up going to the Raiders and then Derek Carr took over the job over Matt Flynn. So that poor guy got the fucking double shaft right there. I mean, I don't know, man. I really feel like it's an act of desperation. I do. I don't know how others couldn't, but um, and about the draft, like one of the topics that I've thought about, if you're an NFL team and you pick top 10, it's like, should you almost be, no matter if it's a position you need or not, because there's, best player available, then there's like draft by need. Okay. And then there's generational talent. And there's probably only two true generational talents. And the word generational talent does get thrown around way too much these days. And when it comes to sports and especially the NFL, because they'll say this guy's going to be generational talent. He ends up being a bust, I do think Brock Bowers is or has the potential to be a generational talent so far. But as much as I love Brock Bowers, even that, like, people are saying he's a Hall of Famer right now. Whoa, dude, like, this dude's done 1 year in the NFL. He's got a long way to go, and injuries, other stuff could happen. If he stands on this trajectory, absolutely Brock Bowers can be a Hall of Famer. But, dude, nobody's going to be a Hall of Famer after 1 fucking year in the NFL, bro. Nobody. So let's hold the horses on giving Brock Bowers a fucking gold jacket, dude, because we've seen people fizzle out and get hurt and everything else. So I don't want to jinx it. Knock on wood if you're with me. Definitely don't want to be that guy, but also, want to be real about it. Too many people like, oh, Hall of Famer Brock Bowers. Like, dude, come on, man. He's got a long ways to go. How about we get a ring before we start knighting Brock Bowers with a fucking gold jacket, right? Can we get a Super Bowl? Like, and then maybe we can talk about a fucking gold jacket for the dude. But let's start off with some basic shit that like needs to happen as far as I'm concerned. But the generational talent thing, if you're an NFL team that picks in the top 10, don't you think you should be trying to get a generational talent type player like a Brock Bowers or whatever position? Abdul Carter and Travis Hunter are probably the two in contention that has potential. That's important to be a generational talent type player, right? But the thing about it is like, what if Ashton Jeanty, did or does end up being like a LaDainian Tomlinson or Adrian Peterson or Emmitt Smith? If he fell in those kind of lines of those great running backs, would that make him a generational talent type player? And if it did, I know it's, we can't look in the future, obviously, but if Ashton Jeanty does end up being a generational talent type player, and if you could see in the future, well, then should you pull the trigger on him instead of a quarterback? which remember I said I kind of argue with myself going back and forth. I don't know. I'm not even saying I have the answer to it because it's a tough question. I mean, the Raiders have a lot of tough questions. I think we went from being in a really good position because we had options. We had a lot of options on the table, and maybe we still do. But if we pay Geno Smith $45 million, I think our options become much more limited. Okay, which is my main frustration is that right there. Okay, and before people come at me, they're like, "Well, that's just the going rate." No, dude, you go to the market. You're gonna buy some eggs. You don't have to buy the eggs. They may not change the price on the eggs, but that's fine. You're not forced to buy the eggs, and neither are the Raiders. But and it's funny, dude. Like I was thinking about this too. Like I was like 20 years old. I rolled my truck. I had an old 1982 Toyota truck, man. I love that fucking truck. Me and my buddy hot rodding it after partying, fucking long night. We're out in the forest, dirt road, and I'm trying to be like some NASCAR driver, going around the corners, like fucking hot rodding it on the dirt road and lose control and fucking I hit the hill. We didn't roll the truck bad, but I could have killed him still. But we rolled my truck. It was like 1.5 times or something. We rolled it. My truck was completely destroyed. I got to go get a new car. I'm fucked, and because my truck was totaled, we towed it back and stuff, but like it wasn't the whole, like most of the cab was caved in, dude, like this, dude, driving home in that thing, dude, after we flopped it back on all fours. But I didn't have no money for a down payment for a car. I didn't have no cosigner for a car. I didn't really have much credit or any credit. So what was I going to do? I needed a car for work, right? Luckily I was living at my grandma's house at the time for a little while, but I had to have a vehicle. So I'm like, I'm going to go look at this Kia dealership. They hadn't been, I don't know how long they've been around total, but as far as the United States, they were kind of a newer thing, I'm pretty sure. So I go to this Kia dealership, and they had brand new Kia cars that you could get for $8,500. They didn't have no stereo. They didn't have no power windows. They have no power steering, no air conditioning. I shit you not, dude. I'd be like after I got the car, I'd be like trying to roll up the passenger window, reaching like this, dude. No cruise control, nothing, bro. Like bottom of the line. I didn't have no credit. I think I paid like 14 point something % interest for that car. The interest was like crazy insane. And I refinanced the car, I think one time or something. It took me like 6 years to pay the thing off. It was crazy. It wasn't like a good looking car. I was excited because I got it on my own without no family help or anything. I paid, I think it was like $14,500 for that car. After interest and everything, that piece of shit Kia Rio is what I had, was $14,500. I paid almost 15 grand for an $8,500 car, but that's all I could do, So people be like, well, fucking cares, dude, about you and your car. That's what the Raiders are. We're getting a Kia Rio like I had to fucking do, and we're going to pay $14,500 for a fucking $8,500 piece of shit fucking Kia Rio. There's no power windows. There's no fucking air conditioning. I didn't have cruise control, bro. I took this car to Montana. This is some fucked up shit, dude. People think I'm fucking dumb for doing this. So, like, I used to do like some video camera and stuff, like video film recording when we'd like ride our dirt bikes and shit. So I had like a kind of like a tripod, but it's a monopod. It's a stick that just expands, right? And I would take this stick because I didn't have cruise control. Because my knee on long drives, my knee would lock up and fucking hurt so bad. So I would take this stick that would expand, and I would wedge it between my seat and the gas pedal for my cruise control. I'm not fucking kidding you. I took this stick and I'd put it on the fucking gas pedal. And then sometimes I just use my thumb on this stick. The stick would be like this, and I'd just go like that. And I push this thing to go a little faster because my knee would lock up, and my knee would start like fucking shaking. Cause like, Montana is a fucking like 20 something hour drive, from California to Montana at the time. And I would usually drive that shit nonstop. I'd be going 85, 90. I made that trip in like 19 and a half hours, going fucking like 90 almost the whole way. And like, sketchy areas where there's other cars, I would take the stick out, but that was my cruise control. It's a fucking stick, right? Like, and that's that analogy for my Kia Rio and how much money I paid for that piece of shit car is what the Raiders are doing for Geno Smith. And what a lot of these teams are doing, overpaying these quarterbacks, and people saying, well, that's the market. And people tell me, oh, that's the market for the car. Maybe it was. It doesn't mean I still didn't get fucked. You know, like that thing was a piece of shit. I think I had to replace that transmission 3 times in like 6 years. You know, the thing was not a good car. Now Kias are a lot better. But back then, nobody, like hardly anybody had a Kia, dude. My friends would make fun of me. They're like, you have a Kia? They had fucking all these jokes, dude, because it's like a chick car and shit. It was pretty funny. But I didn't care, dude. I delivered pizza. I was working 3 jobs at the time. I was like fucking delivering pizza in the evenings and shit, and then doing construction and landscaping on the weekends, and delivering pizza on the evenings, and my regular job. But bro, I'm just trying to put shit in perspective that like we don't have to be fucking desperate, dude. Just because we haven't been good, like I truly mean that. Like I don't want us to have acts of fucking desperation. I feel like we've done that too much. I mean, let's be honest with ourselves. Don't you guys feel that way? If we're having an honest conversation, don't you guys feel like the Raiders have been beggars instead of choosers too fucking much? You know? And if they don't want to be here because we suck or whatever, then fuck them. They can fucking kick rocks too. But let's not act like situations like Josh Jacobs, which really pisses me off, even still. Like, imagine if, like, you know, another thing I was thinking about. Imagine if we get Najee Harris, I think Aaron Jones, and then Nick Chubb, I think are all free agents as far as running backs go. What if we get a running back and we pay him the same amount that the Packers are paying Josh Jacobs? I mean, 1 year later, if the Raiders if we sign a veteran running back, and if that contract is anywhere close to fucking Josh Jacobs, I'm going to lose my shit. I'm seriously going to blow my fucking lid, because just the idiocracy with this organization is fathomable sometimes. And sometimes it's on the players. Sometimes the players fuck up, like Devontae Adams or whatever. But sometimes it's on us, dude. What happens with Devontae? Like, it's cause and effect, bro. What happens if Devontae Adams, what happens if Josh Jacobs gets signed, and what if we don't let Josh Jacobs walk? If we keep Josh Jacobs, do you think Devontae Adams might want to stay a Raider a little bit more? Let's say we start Aiden O'Connell instead of Gardner Minshew. Do you think that helps Devontae Adams want to stay here a little bit more? If we get an offensive play caller that can actually call plays, if this organization does things to set people up for success, Aiden O'Connell or any other quarterback, the shit show these last 2 years, I'm convinced they would have failed. I'm convinced they were not set up for success. And we had some playmakers at times, like a Devontae Adams and stuff, but you can't fucking run an organization like this. You can't. It's fucking pathetic, bro. It really is. I wished I wished I could smell the rainbows like most people and go frolicking in the forest with you guys. Like we hold hands, we go skipping in the fucking weeds, and we fucking ride off in the fucking sunset. But that's not reality. It's really not. It's a false reality of hope. And I try to be optimistic, and I struggle with my own shit, dude. But like, I think for change, and this goes for anything in life, for change, you got to have an honest conversation, whether you're a drug addict or whatever the fuck, dude. At some point, you got to have the honest conversation. And with the Raiders, I think that's where we're at. We got to have an honest conversation of what's the plan. That's the main question of everything. What's the plan? If Geno Smith is the plan, I don't know that I like that plan. And I have a right to feel this way. And we all do. We should all like have a little bit of skepticism and not just be super pumped up that Geno Smith, that we're one quarterback away from making a playoff run, and that Geno Smith's going to win a Super Bowl for the Raiders. Could he? Yeah, he could. Will he? I don't know. This dude's been in the NFL a long time, and he's done okay these last couple of years. But the other thing is, pull up his stats. I mean, was it 20 or 21 touchdowns and 15 interceptions? Let me repeat that. 15 interceptions last year for like 20 or 21 touchdowns. That's fucking crazy, bro. Any quarterback that your touchdown to interception ratio is like 50, like if it's not 50-50, it's fucking terrible. Meaning if you throw 10 interceptions, you better minimum have 20 touchdowns. Minimum. 10 interceptions should be 20, if not 25 touchdowns. Anything more than that, like 50% ratio, the way I like to look at it, it's not good. It's not, dude, you're not going to be winning games, man. And I'm not saying like he's going to come to us and throw interceptions, but like that's they don't get me excited, bro. It don't. People talk about Aiden O'Connell, him throwing interceptions and stuff, dude. Like that's a terrible fucking stat. You know, if you're going to have 15 interceptions, you better have 30 to 35 touchdowns. You should have 30 to 35 touchdowns if you're going to throw 15 interceptions. If you do that, then I can fathom the 15 interceptions a lot more. But I don't know, man. I don't know. What do you guys think? Let's see what other notes I have. I'm only on the first page. Oh, man. Oh, the other thing. O'Connell, I guess he met with Tom Brady. They were watching some film together. I mean, I don't know, man. I really don't. Because if Aiden O'Connell and Tom Brady linked up and Tom Brady's watching film with him, if anybody of all people is going to know like how smart Aiden O'Connell is, Tom Brady's a really fucking smart guy, even though I might not like to say it or whatever to some degree, but like Tom Brady's going to know if Aiden O'Connell has something in the tank or not. So, you know, the fact the Raiders are looking for a quarterback after Tom Brady met with Aiden O'Connell and they're looking at film together, maybe it does show that Aiden O'Connell isn't the guy. I don't know. But then again, is Geno Smith really Tom Brady's guy? I mean, like, honestly, like, is Geno Smith Tom Brady's guy or is that Pete Carroll's guy? I don't know. You know, it's interesting, you know, and I'm not trying to create drama and shit, dude, because like I hate that shit. But dude, I thought about it. I'm like, I don't see how Tom Brady would want fucking Geno Smith, you know? And so maybe Tom Brady wants to, you know, be the more the guy that looks for, you know, somebody in the draft or something like that. I think I covered a lot of these topics on the back page. Let me just kind of review some stuff here. Then we go up in the chat, try to see you guys are saying. I think that's probably pretty good. Oh, real quick. All right, last one. I'll make this one quick. All right, Super Bowl odds on like DraftKings, they didn't change for the Raiders after we got Geno Smith. Could it still change down the road? Yeah, it could. But I thought that because Raiders are like, plus 8,000 to win the Super Bowl. And I'm not saying we're going to win the Super Bowl. I'm just curious if the sports bettors changed the odds at all for Raiders winning the Super Bowl after we got Geno Smith. And they didn't. The Super Bowl odds didn't change at all. Like, I'm saying not even a point, 50 or whatever. So that was kind of, funny to me or whatever. And then the other thing I thought of when I was thinking about the Super Bowl was if somehow the Raiders were to get to a Super Bowl with Pete Carroll, you damn well know Pete Carroll, if we're on the 1 yard line, Pete Carroll's running the ball. Like the Raiders will know they're running the ball. The entire world will know the Raiders are running the ball. And then the other team will also know we're probably going to run the ball if we're on the 1 yard line in the Super Bowl with Pete Carroll, which I guess could be a good and a bad thing because depends who you have at running back and if you can get in the end zone instead of throwing it when they should have gave it to Marshawn Lynch. But that was kind of a funny thing I was thinking about. And I was like, well, if we had Genty, if they did get Genty, with 6 overall or whatever, then it's like, if we ever in a Super Bowl, like, Pete Carroll could maybe, right his wrongs or something like that. All right. I love you guys. Let's get in the chat here. I rambled a lot. An hour of me fucking going off. Sorry, guys. This is why I don't go live a lot because I'm gonna have a lot to say, man. I keep this shit bottled up a lot of times, man. So Should we go reverse order? I don't know. I want to say what's up to everybody. I want to miss anybody. Rebel Raider, man. What up, big dog? Yeah. Oh, Jacoby Myers. Yeah, dude. Jimmy said Dart might be first QB2. People weren't overexcited about Cam or Sanders a couple months ago. There's always Blake Bortles surprise QB pick sometimes too. Nice. I think Dart has a lot of upside. Unknown Raider guy. What up, big dog? Make sure I don't miss anybody else. Anything you guys want to say? Protect the shield. What up, big dog? Just win, baby, is a myth. Current state of our organization, dude. Damn. I know. Raider 7528. What up, big dog? Hopefully you're doing good, bro. King Savage in the house. What up? What up? You don't pass Shador center 6. If we do, we're the dumbest franchise, bro. they're gonna pass on Shador. They're gonna like pick a kicker, dude. And I'm not even the biggest Shador guy. And the antics, some of it frustrates me, but it's not that. It's just him holding on. The short answer is him holding on to the ball too long. Is kind of where I'm at with stuff. Evan H, what up? What up? he said Geno Smith sucks. Enjoy 7 and 10. Are you an Eagles fan? Congrats to your Eagles, bro. We hate the fucking Chiefs in here, and we were all rooting for the Eagles, bro. And Jalen Hurts, good quarterback. There's a lot of people in my chat, bro, that wanted Jalen Hurts to be a Raider and believed in him when a lot of other people and the mainstream pundits did not believe in Jalen Hurts. Sean Athletics, man, he said, love the passion. Appreciate you, bro. I've been working 7 days a week, so I've been so tired. There's been times where I'm like, man, dude, I want to go live, but I'm just like, I'm gonna fall asleep or something, dude. I'm so fucking tired. RNFL, dude, salute. What up? So speaking, bro, you speaking facts. The hype Geno trade, we got our QB. I can't stand those fans, bro. I'm just like, I know I'm like on the more pessimistic side, but I'm just like, we've been kicked in the nuts like so much, but I don't know, man. I just got to be real about it, dude. Like I had to digest it. It wasn't like, like I said, my first, what up, bro? Salute, big dog. My first reaction was actually pretty positive. And then, as I thought about it, I'm like, I don't know, dude. Like I'm just wondering, I'm like, am I getting fed a dog turd sandwich and I'm supposed to like it? It's like, I'm getting fed a cup of noodles or top ramen and they're presenting it like I'm getting filet mignon. And I'm just like, no, bro, like we're still getting fed like shit. I'm not excited about this, dude. And maybe he can prove me wrong and I'll be more excited because, if we did just win, baby, then, that cures a lot of stuff. But that brings me back to like some of the other stuff, man. Like, how many more wins does Geno get versus Aiden O'Connell or other options? It's not like I only want, Aiden O'Connell. I want to draft a guy. I want a cheap quarterback option that can be an actual bridge. I mean, if honestly, if Russell Wilson would have been cheap, I would have considered that. If Aaron Rodgers would have been cheap, I would have considered that. Not on Sam Darnold because he's not going to be cheap, and I don't want that. Kirk Cousins, he's not cheap. We all thought Kirk Cousins last year was going to be cheap, and he got what, 45 mil a year? That I don't think he's worth that. If he had done an actual cost-effective deal, then I might consider it. But, and then, even Marcus Mariota, bro. There's some other guys, and dude, the people with, what's the Jets' old quarterback, that little motherfucker, Zach Wilson. Can we stop with Zach Wilson, dude? I don't care if Zach Wilson pays the Raiders to be on our fucking team. Yeah, Zach Wilson could pay the Raiders to be on our team, and I don't want that motherfucker on our team, dude, whatsoever. That whole Zach Wilson hype, oh God, I hope that's not real because I do not want that dude on our fucking team. But there's other guys that are older that you could get for a cost-effective option, not to start, but to be a true bridge quarterback, not a franchise quarterback. I don't know how anybody can say 45 mil and bridge quarterback in the same sentence. That's not the same thing, dude. Like, you don't get a bridge quarterback and pay him 45 mil. You get a franchise quarterback and you pay him 45 plus mil. You see what I'm saying? There's a difference, man. And that's where I'm at, you know? Like, if it's like, hey, Geno Smith or a different quarterback, it's like Geno Smith, no Trayvon Moehrig, or another quarterback and Trayvon Moehrig. I'd rather choose another quarterback for less money and Trayvon Moehrig. Or if it's like Geno Smith, no Robert Spillane, and it's not this black and white, but some of these decisions might end up coming down to something like this. But Geno Smith, no Robert Spillane, or another quarterback and Robert Spillane. Or other quarterback, Robert Spillane, Trayvon Moehrig. Other quarterback, Robert Spillane, Malcolm Kuntz. Other quarterback, Robert Spillane, Chase on, Trayvon Moehrig. You see where I'm going with it? Like, this is why I want things to be done differently. But because Pete Carroll's old and he's up against it, he feels like his back's against the wall, and he's essentially tying his career to to the Geno Smith signing. He really is. And to me, as I thought about more, I'm like, this isn't as positive as people are thinking it is. This is actually an act of desperation, and that scares me. It really does. I get it. They want to be in a win now mode, and fuck, for the love of God, so does every Raider fan for the last 22 years. I mean, do you guys know who's the team that's gone the longest time without winning a playoff game? Is it the Raiders? Does anybody know who's the number one team that has gone the longest amount of time without winning a playoff game? Is it the Raiders? And if it's not the Raiders, who is that other team? I'll be honest, I had to research it. I was like, fuck, is it the Browns? Is it the Lions? Is it the Texans? I'm like, start going down the list. I'm like, I know the Raiders have gone a long time, but like, are we really the worst team? Like, we've gone the longest since the last playoff win. Luckily, the Dolphins have us beat for the drought of winning a playoff game. And then Raiders are number 2. But that's pretty fucking pathetic that it's like the Dolphins, even the Browns, bro. Like, even the Browns have won a playoff game in the last 22 years. Not the Raiders. And so it just, it continues, man. It really does. Gabriel said Zach Wilson will end up playing in the spring football leagues. Nice, dude. Highest, what'd you say? Highest kicker ever taken was 6 for the Skins. Geno's needs to cut down on turnovers. Mark Caboon, salute, bro. Hopefully you're doing good. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. That's what I'm saying. Anybody else I missed? Let me scroll back up in the chat. Eastsider, salute. Said Metcalf should be a part of the trade also. I wouldn't mind getting Metcalf. I don't know if him and Geno have beef, though. There was some talk saying that Metcalf wanted a better quarterback or something like that. 3 times. Salute. Hope you're doing good. Don't want to miss anybody. I don't know if I should go back through all the chat or. Yeah, James Furbo. What up? He said Raiders. All right. EC Ever said, at some point, fans got to realize there's no mid-level NFL starting QB pay scale. NFL starters are in the neighborhood of 30 to 40 million unless they are on a rookie deal before year 4, like it or not. I mean, yeah, that's cool, bro. I mean, you go to the store, you overpay for eggs. You go to McDonald's, you're paying like $15 for a fucking Happy Meal, and you're right. That's the market, But that's the great thing about capitalism. You don't have to fucking pay them. You can make a decision to go fucking make a peanut butter and jelly at your house for pennies on the dollar, or go make a fucking turkey sandwich instead of spending $15 at some fast food, like, garbage joint or whatever, and like, you can say what you want, but bro, you like, that analogy is like, bro, I'm gonna go to McDonald's and get me a fucking like a nice steak, bro, for $15. And then you're like, wait a second, nah, my bad. That was just some shitty ass fucking Big Mac, bro, or a McDouble. You're like a McDouble. You got like a couple fucking onions sliced on there, some like mustard, like the mustard and ketchup. It's not even smeared on the whole bun, bro. It's like half. They slap that shit on there, dude. The whole bun ain't even covered. You ain't even when you getting like screwed. You ain't even getting like the raw dog full special. You getting the raw dog half special, dude. You know, so you could look at it how you want, and you could say that's the market all you want. You know, you could say that about anything. You know, you could say that about a house remodel, what you're willing to spend. You could say that about a car, what you're willing to spend, fucking rims, tires. But at the end of the day, it's your choice. You know, if you want those rims, are you going to pay for them? Yeah. But like, if you overpay for the rims and you're like, oh, fuck, these are just hubcaps. These are like fake ass like I'm paying for rims that are like nice rims, but I'm getting a metal fucking wheel with a plastic fucking hubcap. And I'm gonna call this is pimping. I'm gonna get some chrome spray paint. We're gonna chrome spray paint these fucking plastic hub covers, bro. And we're gonna go big pimping, man. We're gonna lower the car. We're gonna put a fucking coffee can on the fucking muffler. And we're gonna be riding dirty, man. Fucking lawnmower down the fucking highway. You're like, man, this is the best car ever, bro. Man, fucking lawnmower, fucking fourth gear pin, man. That's what I think. You acting like you're riding in a V8. Boom, boom, boom. But it says just like a fucking lawnmower. Fucking redlining, fucking going 70, bro. You're like, damn, this thing's fucking pimping. But guess what? It's still gonna be a piece of shit. You just overpaid for it, dude. Yeah, the plastic spinners, bro. Facts, man. See, dude, people can be evasive all they want and like try to fucking, because I hear it all the time, bro. And I've just got to the point with people in this passive aggressive world where I'm just like, you know what? I'm done playing fucking mind games with people that like they want to pull these cards out and like try to convince themselves why they're right when really they know they're fucking wrong. You know what I'm saying? So throw the coffee can on the muffler, bro, and you'd be all right. You call that shit fucking, you know, like a high end. Trying to think of one of those high end muffler companies are, but yeah. Yeah, sorry. I just threw your earphone. That was really loud. I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry, man. I didn't mean to blow your eardrums, man. I couldn't help it, dude. I've seen it. You guys know what the fuck I'm talking about. I mean, and I'm not talking about like the nice Hondas or something. I'm talking about like the old ones. Dude, it's like still got primer on it. You know, I'll see people here, bro, and they're like in this old Honda, dude. And I'm like, you think this car was going like fucking 50 miles an hour, man, right? As loud as it is, sounds just like a lawnmower that's clapped the fuck out. And this thing's doing like 30 miles an hour. It's like, it's going so fucking slow. But some of these cars are so loud and not just like loud, like cool. They're like loud, obnoxious. And like, you think the engine's going to fucking blow. And you got people that are like, oh man, that shit's just fucking funny to me, man. Here we go. All right, here's a good one. All right, let's see. The difference being that you and I aren't sliding our card to pay Geno's salary like we do if we pick McDonald's or making better burgers at home. Hey, I like the burgers at home because you know what that makes me think of? The fucking, you guys ever seen Eddie Murphy Raw? I can't remember if it was Eddie Murphy Raw or Eddie Murphy Delirious, where he's talking about like all the kids across the street got McDonald's and he's at home with his fucking just like regular bread and like burger and it's all soggy and he's like fucking like he's like a little kid like crying and he's like all jealous of the kids that got McDonald's. I was the kid, no matter where I lived, that like, I didn't have the McDonald's. I had like the soggy fucking bread, bro. Like I had that shit sandwich. I was like, man, this fucking sucks. So anyways, I always love that shit from Eddie Murphy, man. That skit was fucking, I need to watch that shit. I ain't seen that in a minute. But you're right, it's not my pocketbook, bro. And you also have the right whether or not you're gonna pay for a fucking Raider ticket. That's the most expensive ticket in the NFL. And so do we all. And you know what else? It wasn't my pocketbook that chose not to sign Josh Jacobs, man. That wasn't my pocketbook. It wasn't my pocketbook to trade a first and second round draft pick for Devontae Adams and then trade him away for a third round draft pick. That wasn't my pocketbook either. You know what else wasn't my pocketbook? It wasn't my pocketbook to give Brokeback Jimmy a ridiculous fucking contract when he didn't even pass the physical, and then to get rid of Jimmy. That wasn't my pocketbook either. Or to pay Gardner Minshew, another mediocre quarterback that we pay that's not nearly as much as this quarterback that we're going to pay. That wasn't my pocketbook. It wasn't my pocketbook when the Raiders decided to trade Khalil Mack and not give him $90 million guaranteed and about $20 million a year. You're right. That wasn't my pocketbook. It wasn't my pocketbook when the Raiders decided to make Derek Carr the highest paid quarterback in the NFL. That wasn't my pocketbook. It wasn't my pocketbook when the Raiders decided to trade for Antonio Brown to try to have one last good year in Oakland and only for him to clown out. That wasn't my pocketbook. So you're right, man. That wasn't my pocketbook. And I don't have a brain and I don't know how to think. And I don't know if I'm getting hoodwinked or not when an organization that I love has done nothing but fucking lose for the last 22 fucking years and not won a playoff game. And I've stuck through it no matter whose fucking pocketbook it was or wasn't. Or if I paid for a game, or if I paid thousands of dollars in fucking football cards or whatever the fuck, that wasn't their pocketbook. That was my pocketbook. It wasn't the Raiders' pocketbook that bought this fucking Devontae Adams autographed fucking helmet, bro. That wasn't the Raiders' pocketbook. That was this motherfucker. I bled for this shit working 7 days a week. It wasn't the Raiders' fucking pocketbook when I got a Viva Las Vegas signed Josh Jacobs Raiders fucking helmet. That was me. They make money. They exist because of me, motherfucker. They exist because of me and because of you. Maybe not you or the rest of the clowns, but everybody else that's fucking smart and got a brain that has supported this fucking team that overpays for fucking jerseys and hats and fucking football seat tickets. You make them. They do not exist without you, and me. So yeah, that is my fucking pocketbook, motherfucker. I fucking think it is. Whether or not I'm paying $100, $1,000, or how about the fucking, how much was I paying for the NFL Sunday ticket for how many fucking years? That wasn't their money. That was mine. I paid that, bro. So you better believe it is my fucking pocketbook. Damn fucking right. And everybody else, you should know it's your pocketbook too. Because when they put out a product that's fucking ass and we sit here and be condescending and act like we're too fucking dumb to know when they make dumb fucking decisions, that's your fucking choice, bro. That's your choice. Or not. And that's fucking cool too. So, oh, yeah. Yeah. No, Raiders had the most expensive tickets in the NFL, and they just raised them again for Geno Smith, bro. Nah, man, go fuck yourself, bro. Unsubscribe. I don't fucking care. I really fucking don't. I don't like my channel's small. I don't advertise this. I don't monetize this. You know, if people want to come chill, cool. But like, I don't need jackassery, bro. You know, we don't need jackassery. We're a family in here, and most of us been fucking rocking with each other for more than a year, more than 2 years, more than 3 years. A lot of us, it's like 5+ fucking years, man. You know, so yeah, I think we do fucking help support the Raiders. I think we do actually have a fucking impact, and we should have a fucking say, even though I know we don't, but like we should have a say on what they do and have an opinion and not be like, oh, happy go lucky and everything's going to be okay. No, it's like, it's the dumbest shit, bro. You don't keep Josh Jacobs running back by committee. Get rid of Josh Jacobs. Zamir White's going to be the next fucking Emmitt Smith or whatever the fuck dumb fucking people were saying. And then you go into the following year and you can't run the ball. Everybody's like, we need to run the ball. We need to run the ball. The same people that were saying we need to run the ball are the same people that said to get rid of Josh Jacobs. Think about that. The same people that are pounding the table that we need to run the ball are the same people that said we need to get rid of Josh Jacobs. Absolute heresy. Like, I don't have any nice words for it without coming off the handle of how fucking dumb you got to be to have that fucking take. And that two-faced. But that's our society, man. That's how everybody is. Everybody will talk out of both sides of their fucking mouth and not own up to it when they're wrong. That's for fucking sure. Absolutely not. They got no balls, man. Their balls are in their wife's fucking purse is the fucking problem. She carrying that shit for them. My thumb hurts for spam the 100. Yeah. My channel ain't for everybody, bro. I can go name all the channels you guys can go join. I mean, you know, like, what do you guys want, man? You want me to fucking call them all out? All the fakes, bro? You know who they are. There's plenty of them. There's a laundry list, and they're right there for you, bro. So, Gabriel, salute, bro. He said, what are your thoughts on Raiders free agents signing offensive guard Alex Kappa, who played Tampa Bay Buccaneers, won a Super Bowl? Tom Brady played last season with Cincinnati. I know he didn't do good last year in Cincinnati. I'm hopeful he can do better this year. I guess the offensive line as a whole, the way I'm looking at it is like this, man. We just got rid of Andre James, which is good. I mean, I've been wanting to get rid of Andre James for a while. So whether it's Jackson Powers-Johnson that's going to be center or Dylan Parham, I kind of want JPJ to be center, but like it depends if we think Dylan Parham should be a guard or a center or even a starter on our line, I guess. If you like Parham, I think Parham's probably better center than he is guard. But I think Jackson Powers-Johnson at center could be a really good center for us as well. Really stout, you know. But I'm not convinced that Dylan Parham is going to be a good guard. I think he's a little small and stuff like that. So, and especially with the scheme, if they're going to change to a zone blocking scheme, I'm not sure if Dylan Parham's the best fit for that. So, like, if I look at it from that standpoint and obviously get rid of the Andre James thing, question mark a center, and then it's like, well, then who's going to be the guard? So if we have Jordan Meredith there at one of the guard positions, and then Jackson Powers-Johnson or Dylan Parham, who's Alex Kappa going to fill in for? If, you know, Kappa's going to start instead of Parham, and then put Jackson Powers-Johnson at guard, I kind of like that. You know, and then you got God, I always forget a right tackle's name, but the dude we drafted last year. You got him, and he has upside, but I'm still questionable on him. But then we have to consider that Colton Miller looks like his contract's coming up soon. So at some point, you're gonna have to pay Colton Miller. You know, again, it's not my pocketbook, so you know they can pay Colton Miller $50 million a year for all I care. It's not my money. Give Colton Miller a contract. Give him more than Geno Smith makes, dude. It's not my money. I don't have a brain to use. So that they should pay Colton Miller, who let Aiden O'Connell got sacked, 6 times against Khalil Mack? And wasn't that when Colton Miller was playing? And Khalil Mack was smoking the shit out of Colton Miller. So Maybe the Raiders give him just $50 million. I mean, who fucking cares, right? Who cares if we're ever going to fucking win a playoff game again, And that's the jackassery we're dealing with in our society, man. It's crazy, bro. It's this condescending, passive aggressive people, and it's like it's everywhere. This is why I can't do videos a lot of times, because I see it a mile away, and I'll call it out, dude. That's why I run my own business, so I have to deal with it a little bit, but like I control the odds a lot more than having some manager that's like fucking passive aggressive and condescending and all this bullshit, man. So he said at 35.5 mil, Max should have played left tackle too. Nice, man. I'm kidding about Colton Miller, but like the point is, I don't know. Like I like Colton Miller, but like I don't know if he's going to fit the zone blocking scheme. If that's what we're going to switch to with Chip Kelly offense, it probably is what we're switching to. Colton Miller has never done good under zone blocking scheme, dude. Every time the Raiders have tried to switch to a zone blocking scheme, Colton Miller hasn't done good. And if his contract's coming up, you might need to be looking for the replacement for Colton Miller right now. If you're smart, if you feel, or the Raiders organization feels that Colton Miller is not a long-term solution for the zone blocking scheme and the Chip Kelly offense, you should be trying to find a new left tackle like this draft, Otherwise, we're going to be in a situation where we might be without a left tackle and we're scrambling, we're reactionary again instead of preparing for our battles and stuff like that. So, James Furbo said, I want our players to play their true positions and only move if needed. Don't draft a guard, then put them at center or whatever. Keep them where they are. The reason we drafted them. Yeah, center's. I hear you. Center's a little bit different. Okay, so I know JPJ played center and guard in college. I think Dylan Parham played center and guard in college as well. So a lot of times I feel like guard and center can be interchangeable. Remember, Andre James was an undrafted free agent, and we put him at guard originally. I'm like 98% sure Andre James was a guard for like a year or two, or maybe it was like a partial season, and then got moved to center because I think that's when we had what's his name, and he got hurt. And then eventually he got promoted, but Andre James was kind of small for a center, even back then. So, Jimmy Guns, I've been telling people, but to your point, okay. Let me finish that thought up. Left tackle and right tackle, I think, are a lot harder to interchange. And, maybe from left guard to right guard, I don't like that. But, I think it is good to have somebody that can play out on the offensive line that also can play center if someone goes down or whatever, if you know what I mean. All right, Jimmy said, I've been telling people Jake Majors is the O-line guy to get late this year. Center for the Longhorns, 6'3", 315, JPJ twin. Nice. I think we got to address the offensive line. I don't care if it's like guard or tackle. We got to get at least one, if not two, offensive linemen in this draft, Mm-hmm. Bro, can you imagine if we'd got Massage Watson? I said at least we didn't get Massage Watson a few years ago. Rodney Hudson was hurt, and Andre James, that was who it was, Rodney Hudson, and took over center when Raiders traded Hudson to Arizona. It was Arizona, huh? I was thinking Hudson went to the Seahawks, but I think you are right. Rodney Hudson was such a damn good center, though. Man, at one point we had a really good offensive line, dude. And I felt like when guys got hurt, like under certain coaches, like Tom Cable, I think, was really good at like getting talent out of like no-name guys, although other people didn't like Tom Cable, but I thought he was good at like turning kind of nobody guys like Andre James, Denzel Good, guys that either were given up on in the league or a lot of people didn't think were going to be good. And I think Tom Cable helped turn them into pretty good offensive linemen. And then before Tom Cable was Mike Tice, and I thought Mike Tice did a really good job with the offensive line as well. And pretty much, I'm just gonna say it, man. Since Tom Cable, I don't think our offensive line's been that good. I know there's like PFF grades out there and stuff that says our offensive line is pretty good. I disagree with that. Maybe they're better in like the passing downs, but when it comes to run blocking, we have struggled. They have not done a good job. I guess 2-3 years now, pretty much since Josh Jacobs won the rushing title, our offensive line blocking has not been good. And a lot of it was because they switched from the power blocking scheme, the power man blocking scheme, to a zone blocking scheme, man. So, and then they switched it back to a power blocking scheme. And then they switched it back to a zone blocking scheme. We struggled. And then back to a power man blocking scheme is how we ended the year last year. And I'm not saying they're going to do only that and not like some zone blocking, but for the most part, they were trying to do the zone blocking scheme, and we struggled. I don't think Colton Miller has ever done good with the zone blocking scheme, And I think even when he came in the NFL with the Raiders, I think we tried to do a zone blocking scheme with him and that rookie year, if I remember right, and he really struggled. And then I think we switched the scheme a little bit to help him out kind of thing. So, all right. Anything else you guys want to get into or ask? Sorry, I didn't scroll up and see everybody comments, man. It was, just kind of went long-winded to go all the way back up to the beginning. So I apologize, but I appreciate everybody that commented tonight. Sorry if I'm too aggressive for people. I try not to be, guys. You guys understand. I really try, dude. I do. But there's just times where people, man, is like, I just can't keep my cool, dude. I wished I could, but it's the same narratives. Like people just repeat the same shit. People will be like, well, it's not your money. It's like, that's what JT Eats a Dick says. JT fucking eats a dick. I hate that motherfucker now. He does that condescending shit. It's a tactic, dude. It's done on purpose, dude. It's not people pick up on it and people do it like a natural reaction, but it's like, a lot of people that are salesmen or that have been involved in the stock market, shit like that. People that have never fucking got their hands dirty or done a blue collar job, like desk jockeys that think they're fucking tough, keyboard warriors. It's a lot of them that, like, honestly, they, people that like think they're tough or, trying to think of how to say it without like fucking getting too fired up. But, people that just pass the buck chuck and they just like repeat shit. And it's like they don't have a mind of their own, and they're going to pull out the dummy card on purpose and pretend to be stupid when really they fucking know what they're doing. They're trying to pretend to be stupid to make you look stupid so they feel better about themselves, to try to prove a point that they're smarter than you or that, whatever, when the reality is like, no, dude, like, I've been a Raider fan my entire life. I've seen some of this fucking organization make some of the dumbest mistakes ever. And it's cause and effect. Like, none of this is rocket science, guys. It's like you get rid of your leading running back who breaks the fucking rushing title, right? You get rid of him and you wonder why you can't run the ball. Like, we're not trying to figure out the seventh wonder of the world. Like, some of this is not fucking rocket science. It's really not, and, but to each his own. People want to, try to just repeat the same shit like JT Eats the Dick says. Oh, well, it's not my money. I don't get in other people's pockets, because that's the same bullshit that motherfucker says. Then so be it, man. Have fun with his fucking dick and balls in your mouth. You know what I'm saying? So that's all I got to say. All right, I'm going to get out of here. You guys have a good night. Take it easy. And make sure you guys like, subscribe. If not, that's cool too. I'm Mark Raider. Out.